Hey, it's Earth Day! I'm not here to tell you to be kinder to the planet, although you should, but what I am going to talk about today is reusing and recycling your old blog posts. So what I mean is taking old content and using it to create new content. Why would you want to do this? Great question. There are two main reasons. Number one, sometimes the idea well runneth dry. It can be really hard to come up with new topics week after week, month after month. Secondly, if you have a blog post that's already performing well, it makes sense to piggyback on it. But this approach will not only save you time, but it's going to force you to double down on what works, which is always a good idea. And lastly, letting your blog post shrivel up and die in the bowels of your website isn't doing you any good. When you keep content current and refreshing and engaging, you're telling Google and the reader that you're an active writer and a reliable source of information. Plus, it's going to give you new opportunities to rank higher in the search engine. Yay. All right, let's dive in. Here are several ways to recycle your old blog content Earth Day style. Idea number one is do a part two of a blog that is already performing well. Is there one blog in particular that's ranking higher in Google, or maybe people are spending more time on that page in particular? Maybe it's getting a lot of engagement on social media or tons of clicks from your email list. However you slice it, if you have a blog post that's outperforming the others, then it might be a good time to do a follow-up post, because we have a really good reason to believe that people like the original blog. This is clearly a topic that they enjoy. Let's run through an example. Let's say you wrote a blog on the benefits of yoga and people went wild for it. Maybe you would do a part two that would take readers through simple poses that they can do to enjoy the benefits of yoga. Or you could focus on the mental health benefits of yoga specifically. The point is to ride the coattails of the first blog and create a second blog that's going to resonate just as much with your readers, if not more. There's always room for improvement, and that brings us to our second idea for recycling your old blog posts. Idea number two is improve the existing blog post with new images, embeds, and quotes. So what you want to do in this case is pick a blog post that you're interested in updating or maybe slightly revamping, and then you want to take a step away from it and ask yourself, how could this be better? Here are a few things to consider. You might look for holes in the content where you could provide more information and give more value to the reader. You could swap out old images for newer ones. You could create an infographic and add that to your blog post. Infographics are super shareable, which means that they're really good for your backlinks. You could add quotes from industry experts. You might consider improving the internal linking structure. If you've published blogs since then you might have an opportunity to link to some of these blogs within the content that you are revamping. You want to check the keyword that you optimized it around to make sure that your SEO is still on point. And you might also consider embedding relevant media into your blog, like social media posts or YouTube videos. Remember that if you want to outrank the top pages on Google, you can't just regurgitate what they're already doing. You have to find a way to do it better. So that's what this method is all about. Take a blog post, make it better. Idea number three, cover a blog post from a slightly different angle. As opposed to coming up with a new topic entirely, you could take a blog that you already wrote and write it again, but from a different perspective. This is something that I did a lot when I was writing for Bustle. My editor would come to me and she'd say, oh, hey, this blog that you wrote a week ago is doing really well. Let's do another one, but this time let's cover it from X, Y, and Z. So same topic, different angle. This is another great approach to take with blogs that are already performing well, because once again, you know that people like this topic. So it makes sense to cover it again, but with a slight tweak. Let's go through another example. Let's say you wrote a blog on the best maternity yoga poses. So yoga poses for pregnant women. Why not do another blog on the best yoga poses for new moms? So people who just had a baby. It's the same general topic, but it's coming from a different perspective. In the first scenario, we were targeting pregnant women. And in the second, we're targeting women who just gave birth. All right, idea number four, turn your blog into a video script. Even if you haven't produced a single video, you need to watch this because you probably need to be producing videos. If you have a YouTube channel, then you can turn every blog into a video and vice versa. This is what I do. So I have a blog on topic A, and then I'll have a video on topic A, and I always make sure that I embed that video in the corresponding blog. And also, I dropped a link to the blog in the YouTube video. So that way people can decide if they want to read a blog or watch a video, they're covered no matter how they learn best. You've got to remember that YouTube is the world's second largest search engine, owned by the world's largest search engine, Google. Google owns all of us. So if you think that leveraging YouTube and Google simultaneously is going to be in your best interest, you are correct. Also, don't forget that videos rank in Google. You can search something on Google and the search engine might show you relevant videos. So it's not just about producing YouTube videos for the sake of producing YouTube videos. You might end up in Google search results. But even if you are not a YouTuber, there is still room for you to take your blog posts and turn them into video content. Video content performs insanely well on social media. Try creating a 1-minute video that sort of summarizes your blog. Or if you're up for the challenge, create a full-length video that covers all of the content. Upload that video natively to your social media channels and watch the engagement fly in. Guess what you can do as you are getting all this engagement on your video? You can direct these people to the blog. Magic! Idea number 5 is add related sources to the bottom of the blog post. We already talked about internal linking, so we kind of covered this, but I wanted to give it a special shout out because it's a small revision, but I'm seeing really good results on my clients' blogs when we show the reader other links they might be interested in. It keeps them on the website longer. So what you want to do when you're trying to, recycle and reuse your old blog content, pick a blog and then at the bottom of it, add a section that says something like, you might also like, or you might also be interested in, and then drop the titles of related blogs hyperlinked to those pages. But this is really important. The blogs that you include there have to be related to that blog that they're already reading. Otherwise, they're not going to have a reason to click. Including internal links within the blog is still really important, but there's something really powerful about calling out other pieces of content, providing their titles, and then linking directly to those pages. Idea number 6 is create a lead magnet out of one of your blogs. I've talked about lead magnets before, about how much they've helped me grow my email list. If you want to learn more about that, go check out this video. You can take this route when you are recycling old blog content. Now, don't just take a current blog and turn it into gated content, which means you have a form on the page where people have to put their name and email address in order to receive that content. You've already had this on your website as free value. Google has already indexed it, so don't just go and randomly turn it into gated content. That's not the best approach. However, what you can do is recycle this blog using one of the methods we've talked about in this video, like doing a part 2 or covering it from a different angle, and you can turn that into a lead magnet. So in other words, you're going to create a new piece of content and then have some kind of opt-in form where people will have to put in their name and their email address if they want to access it. It's a win all around. Your readers get more value from you, you get more eyes on your content, and you also get to grow your email list in the process. To recycle your old blog content, you just have to be willing to think outside the box. You already have a lot of really good content published on your website, so use it. Your job isn't necessarily done once you've already published a blog. You can take that blog and turn it into something new. Okay, that's all I've got for you today. If you need help creating new blog content, then below this video, I am dropping the links to a number of resources that I think you will find really helpful. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, please give me a thumbs up before you go. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions or feedback, just drop them in a comment and I'll see you in the next video.